We're just going to update to people with the fact that Thomas Cashman has been found guilty at Manchester Crown Court of the murder of 9-year-old Olivia Pratt-Korbel. Of course, she was shot in her home in Dovecote in Liverpool last August. Mark White is here with us in the story. The jury, of course, retiring yesterday after hearing the evidence, which he had denied.
Yes, and, you know, a difficult job for the jury in this trial, in the sense that there wasn't an overwhelming amount of evidence pointing to this man's guilt. So a lot that they had to go through to come to that conclusion that on the balance of probability he was the shooter that turned up on that day, of course, looking for a different target, but got this young girl accidentally from his...
Because remember, the shots actually went through the front door and hit Olivia's mother first.
And then it's got an absolute tragedy, which, of course, brought national revulsion in a city which actually does have significant gun crime problems that has had over the years and that have not gone away. There is a specific issue around the use of firearms in that city, with criminal gangs that use these firearms to further their criminal endeavours.
And we remember the court heard that Cashman was chasing another individual involved in these proceedings, and that's when the shot was fired literally on the doorstep of this house.
Well, that's it. I mean, these incidents and murders are often indiscriminate in nature, and the very fact that this was the pursuit of someone with regard to a criminal row, a dispute that had taken place, and this was a wholly innocent family caught up in this, and a young girl that lost her life. Well, of course, now he has been found guilty. We won't get a sentence today. We'll have to wait for the not just the background reports on this man, but also the mitigation, if there is much in the way of mitigation, that his defence team will put towards the judge, and, of course, the aggravating factors.
Because it wasn't just the murder charge, it was in terms of the injury to the mother, the firearms offences as well. So there's about, I think, 6 charges all in all facing him. Yeah,
multiple charges that, of course, the jury had to weigh up at the end of the day, and, as I say, come to that conclusion that beyond dispute, despite the difficulties in identifying this individual, that it was him who opened fire and killed that young girl.
So let's just reiterate, we're just getting the details through now from Manchester Crown Court. Cashman found guilty too of the attempted murder of the intended target of the shooting, Joseph Nee, who was 36, wounding with intent to do grievous bodily harm to Olivia's mother, Cheryl Korbel, who was hit in the wrist. She's also 46. And then 2 counts of possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life. And Mark, of course, we're also hearing about the effect during that trial about the rest of Knotty Ash, this area of Liverpool, once made famous by Ken Dodd for, humour and other reasons. And this is painting a very different picture of Liverpool, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. Anyone in Liverpool, of course, knows the issues they've been grappling with amongst organised criminal groups, especially involved in the drugs trade. We think more nationally that if you're talking about gun crime, it's really London. That's a big issue. But there are very significant issues around gun crime in Birmingham, in Liverpool and in Manchester, and that area of Liverpool as well. Gangs are active, and of course this family, in the wrong place at the wrong time. They were exactly in the right place as far as they're concerned, in what should have been their safe sanctuary.
Indeed, their home. Just some more details coming through from the court reporter from Press Association. Olivia's mother, Cheryl Korbel, was wearing a pink cardigan holding a teddy bear, sitting with their other children, Chloe and Ryan. Gasps and tears, we're told, from Olivia's family as the verdicts returned. Thomas Cashman, we're told, wiped tears from his eyes after the verdicts, and his family, including partner Kayleigh Sweeney, sitting in the public gallery behind a glass partition. She was seen with her head in her hands. Other members of the defendant's family also in tears, and Cashman turning back to his family, shaking his head at one point. So clearly emotional scenes in there, and this, of course, has been the aspect of this whole case. A 9-year-old lost her life, and we heard she uttered these words, "Mummy, I'm afraid," when she heard those shots being fired.
Yeah, absolutely. It's horrific. And, you know, across the country, there'll be few tears shed for this convicted career criminal for perpetrating an act that has deprived a family of, you know, a sibling, a child, with their whole life ahead of her. And the rest of the family, don't forget, now going forward, they'll have to live with this for the rest of their life. They will be forever affected by these horrific events.
Do you suspect there will now be renewed efforts to control gun crime? I mean, it's an issue in the United States, but this is to do with assault rifles, completely different kind of weaponry. But trying to find out where Cashman got this weapon, the availability, are they sort of retrofitting other weapons that, of course, you can just have as trophies and so on, and where you get the ammunition from. That's the other aspect to it.
Yeah, the ammunition is actually the hardest part. You know, you can get these weapons, all decommissioned weapons, weapons that are bought by collectors, and they can be reactivated pretty quickly. But getting a hold of the ammunition can be a lot harder. But these weapons are out there, make no mistake, and they are used by criminals. They're often actually passed from criminal to criminal, used in one crime and then
as a currency,
put effectively onto the open market. They're sort of they can link one gun to often a number of crimes that have taken place if these weapons have fired. A lot of them are coming from Eastern Europe as well, from the Balkans, following the Balkan Wars. Many of the weapons that are in circulation there have been sold, smuggled into the UK. There is a big issue. The National Crime Agency and regional police forces are, you know, every day, day in, day out, arresting criminals who use firearms to further their endeavours.
And very much associated with the drugs trade, that they are basically, again, weapons of currency, if you like.
Yeah, drugs fuels so much of the criminality that we see up and down the country, especially the serious criminality. And what you find with firearms and indeed other weapons like knives is that they're used to settle disputes often. So a lot of the stabbings and the shootings we hear about, more often than not, they are not innocent members of the public, but often they are other people that, for whatever reason, have to some extent been involved in criminality or at least had disputes with criminal gangs. It's rare, thankfully, that anyone is shot dead who is entirely innocent, like this family. But that's exactly what's happened here. And I go back to the point, you know, Cashman may be shedding a tear for himself in the dock, and his family clearly are off the belief. They bought into his story, you know, assertion that he had nothing to do with this. But it's the family of this young girl
in the sanctuary of their own home
who will have to live with that their home has been violated in the most appalling manner and a young life has been snuffed out.